After an exhaustive 6 weeks, the jury in the trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is finally deliberating. Today, attorneys for both stars made their closing arguments. Depp is suing Heard for $50 million in Virginia over a December 2018 op-ed that she wrote in the Washington Post describing herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Depp's lawyers say he was defamed by this article, though he was never mentioned by name. Heard filed a $100 million counterclaim against Depp after his lawyer called her allegations a hoax. So, to cut through all the noise, joining us now is celebrity divorce attorney Chris Melcher. And Chris, thank you for being here. Before we get in too deep, I want to play a quick soundbite of portions of the closing arguments from both sides. First is going to be from Depp's attorney and then from Heard's. Take a listen.
When Mr. Depp brought this case for defamation, Ms. Heard went all in. She spun a story of shocking, overwhelming, brutal abuse. She came into this courtroom prepared to give the performance of her life, and she gave it.
It's not about who's the better spouse. It's not about whether you think Ms. Heard may have been abusive to Mr. Depp. It's not. Because remember, if you think that they were both abusive to each other, then Amber wins. They're trying to trick you into thinking that Amber has to be perfect in order to win.
So let's start with Depp's attorney. I know both sides, Chris, have accused each other of performances in the sake of their testimony. Throughout this whole trial, Depp's attorneys have been more aggressive. What did you make of their closing argument?
I thought Depp's attorney did a compelling job explaining that we spend our lifetime creating our reputation and it could be taken away from us in a moment. And that's what happened to Johnny Depp when Amber Heard came out and said that she was the victim of all of this horrific abuse at the hands of Johnny Depp, when he's saying no, that he was the victim and she was the aggressor. So I think that they landed those points, and he also established he's not there for money, he's there for his name.
Of course, something that we've had to kind of stress to people as they've watched, millions of people have watched this trial live now for the past 6 weeks, is the fact that this isn't a contest of who was the worst partner in this marriage. It's a defamation case about whether or not Amber Heard lied, and Depp's attorneys having to prove that, which is something that Amber Heard's attorneys pointed to in their closing arguments. I mean, is he right basically saying if both of them were abusive, then Amber wins this case?
That's right, Trevor. It's a hard case for Johnny because how do you define abuse? And could that be just the verbal altercations that they had or unkind words that he used? And maybe that falls within the definition of abuse. But she went further in her op-ed and she actually talked about sexual violence. So she's right that he has to establish that this was not an abusive relationship. So that is a challenge for him to do, but over the course of this trial, we did see consistently that she was the aggressor, and these are tape recordings of her, in her own words, pursuing him in a very aggressive and hateful way.
I know that you don't have a crystal ball. There's, of course, a lot to chew on over the course of a 6-week trial, but at its core is a relatively simple question. So how long do you think that the jury's going to need to talk all of this over and come up with a verdict?
I anticipate that they're going to come back on maybe Thursday because there's a lot of evidence to look at. The law has to be considered, and they're going to take their job seriously. And to me, sounds about Thursday is about right to go through all that information.
You touched on the reputation thing just real quick, Chris. Even if Johnny Depp loses, do you think that given the public's reaction to this trial, he's already won?
Absolutely, Trevor. He has won. There is a sea of support for him online, not just fans, but other people who see what happened to him. He did get his name back. I think he'll be just fine no matter how this jury turns out.
Of course, there's tens of millions of dollars still at stake. Chris Melcher, we appreciate your insight. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Trevor.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.